Before the start of play in each end, the player to play first must place the center line of the mat lengthwise along the center line of the rink, with the mat line at least 2 meters from the rear ditch and at least 23 meters from the front ditch. The mat can move all the way up to the 23-meter line. Often there will be a marker on the side of the rink to indicate this spot. If, before the jack has been delivered, a player or the marker finds that the mat has not been placed as described properly, the player to play first must correctly position the mat. If, after the jack has been delivered, but before the first bowl is delivered, a player or the marker finds that the mat line has not been positioned within the distances described, the opposing player must place the mat and redeliver the jack, making sure that it is centered, but the opposing player must not play first. After the first player to play has delivered the first bowl, no one has the right to challenge the legality of the original distance of the mat line from the rear and front ditches. After the start of play in any end, the mat must not be moved from its original position, except in the following circumstances. If the mat is displaced, it must be replaced in its original position. If the mat is out of line with the center line, it must be straightened on that line. If the mat is off the center line, it must be moved to that line. If a player picks up the mat before the end has been completed, an opposing player must replace the mat in its original position. If a bowl from a neighboring rink, moving in its original course and on a bias which will take it back into its own rink, is traveling on a path which will bring it into contact with the mat, any player on the rink on which the mat is being used can lift it so that the bowl can pass and then replace the mat in its original position. To gain better grip during adverse weather conditions, a player can, before delivering their bowl, lift the mat, turn it over, and replace it in its original position. After the last bowl required to be played in each end has been delivered, a player or the marker must lift the mat and place it completely beyond the face of the rear bank. Opponents in singles can, however, agree to carry the mat up the rink so that they can use it at the next end.